comics are stupid.
No Harry Potter movie is good.
And you're like, give me the Snyder Cut. Oh, sorry, just walk in front of you here. Gonna put my popcorn down. Oh, sorry, gotta put this here.
Universal needs to sue Sony.
Hey, I'm an idiot. I was fired from Fox. Let me go.
I'd like actually to see Venom just crush Spider-Man.
Hello everyone, so I'm back today, and I'm going to be talking about Loki, and I know this is a different format than normal, but I'm just have to try some things out because things happen to the normal system I use. So, yeah, we're trying new things. I don't know what's going to stick. It could all blow up in my face. I really don't know. But yeah, we're here now, so we're going to talk about Loki. This is obviously a spoiler review. But yeah, let's get right into, I guess, what happened. So, first of all, I need to talk about how right I was, because, of course, how can this be a video unless I talk about how right I was? So, wait, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see them. She's going to make this. Wait, nope, that's the wrong one. I want this. Nope. I need this one to go away. There we go. Okay, now we're going to make this all big. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is kind of this idea of, I'm going to kind of skip over the fact that the fight scenes still continue to look like video games, as I said before. But I want to talk about the timekeepers. Because as I had made a prediction in one of my last two reviews, was that the timekeepers were going to kind of go down this Wizard of Oz road and be hoaxes. And lo and behold, guess who was right? Yep, that's right, it was me. I was right. The timekeepers turned out to be hoaxes, which, shouldn't surprise anyone, because it kind of felt like they were going down that path with the way that they were portrayed. And I think they did a really good job at kind of saying, look, there's more to this than the timekeepers. These timekeepers are just kind of our face. And I do believe now, more so than before, that Kang will be, it will have something to do with these timekeepers, because we know they're now animatronics, as you would find in Disneyland. I don't know if that means anything going forward, but, we're going to leave that one there. So that was good. They also talked kind of more about this idea, more about this Loki and Sylvie relationship, right? And how they created, because Loki's I thought that was ironic though. It's like the exact Loki thing you'd expect, for him to fall in love with himself. And I think that was kind of what the show was pushing, and it was good. And the other part of this is that, once again, Loki's on the side of justice, right? Which is something which I think we find kind of to an extent quite often now with Loki, is that he starts off, and then he kind of ends up on the side of the good and of fighting for the little guy, right? Which is kind of like that weird Loki thing that always happens, where he always ends up on the right side, even though he kind of seems to start on that wrong side. And, I think that kind of speaks to how good of a character he is. Now, yes, we will be officially talking about the end credit scene now, because really I don't have much else to say as to the episode, because it was a okay episode. So I can make that one go away. I kind of like this. So we're going to move this here then. So yeah, when we talk about the end, I know, this is weird. I'm trying something new, like I said. So yeah, when we talk about the end credit scene, of course, this is the big thing. Loki gets disintegrated, whatever. And we end up seeing these people. So, of course, we have Richard E. Grant, who is the big one, who people are kind of like, is it going to be Mephisto? Is that kind of going to be his thing? No, it turns out he isn't Mephisto. He's actually going to be classic Loki, who I actually said, again, in one of my, I think maybe was my first review or second review, for episode, obviously, 1 or 2, where I talked about not Richard E. Grant specifically, but someone being classic Loki and classic Loki. I said it could be the villain behind this all, and I thought that would make a sense. And now I don't like this picture, actually, even though, yes, I chose it, but because, of course, you can't see the building on the side, which I do believe is Avengers Tower, by the way. But we'll get, and I think the New York Sanctorum is there somewhere, too. So I think, those could be, I think this looks like it could be New York City. That might be Grand Central Station. I'm not quite sure, like I guess you can't see where I'm pointing, but, next to what would be Avengers Tower, which is on the right side of the screen. Then next to that would be the New York Sanctorum is what it looks like. And then on the left side, it looks like Grand Central Station, and there's some other buildings there, which I'm not quite sure which ones they are. But, of course, that's something also which is very interesting. Because this could be a kind of apocalyptic kind of New York, because obviously all three of those things are located in New York, in that area, right? And so I think that, now talking about Richard E. Grant, who I did again say that I expect, classic Loki not only to make an appearance, but to be probably the villain. And now I don't know if he'll be actually the villain, but he is definitely making an appearance. We are getting to see that classic costume, and it looks. And again, I think this is kind of you go back to that kind of Halloween episode of WandaVision where they used the classic costumes, and I do expect that that's the same kind of vibe. And so yeah, but then when it comes to, of course, the person in the middle is of course Kid Loki. Now we know Kid Loki is an amazing character who was featured in the Miss Marvel comics. I think if I had to say one of these guys survives on the screen right now, it'd be Kid Loki. I think he's the one who has the most kind of room in the MCU, and I think especially with these younger characters like Miss Marvel coming in, and we have Spider-Man already. I think that you could definitely see Kid Loki kind of have a role going forward in the MCU. So I think they could keep him around. And then you see there's a little lizard alligator thing on his lap. I mean, if it means anything, in my opinion, it means that you've got Throg coming and the Thor, Frog Thor. And you kind of are going to do something like that, or it could just be his pet who has no connection to Loki whatsoever besides being a pet, which is another possibility. And then on the left, I guess the guy on the left, he's someone who I don't know who it is. Is it Thor? Is it a Loki version of Thor? Is it someone related to the Thor corpse? Well, I don't know what the case here is. It looks like he has some version of Mjolnir, and I think it could very well be in my mind, kind of like a Krypton thing, right? So if you think about Krypton, the show, I don't know if any of us actually watched it here because, even I barely watched the first season, that's about it. But, where they had this kind of like, in a sense, kind of like the way they kind of did, I guess, the older characters, right? Like the great-grandfather, whatever. You could have maybe this be some like older Thor, right? Like past descendant of Thor, if that makes any sense, or maybe a frost giant or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens now. I don't really know. I don't have any ideas, but I can't make any more predictions besides the fact I think Kang has something to do with this. I do think it's interesting that they are, I don't want where they are because are they going to find more variable? Owen Wilson's character, who of course also got disintegrated, be here? I mean, at this point, it's really all up in the air. But yeah, I think that's all. I know this is, again, a weird format, but, we're trying things out. But let me know what you thought of the episode down below. What did you think? Was this the best episode? I think it was really the best episode because they really did kind of make the story more interesting. I think we have a few more episodes to go with this show. We have Black Widow, I think, next week as well, right? If my mind does work. Yes, next week is Black Widow on Friday, I think. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the episode down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts, follow us on social media. Again, comment down below what you thought of the episode yourself, because I'm really interested to hear what other people kind of thought of this episode. And of course, subscribe, it really helps and all that stuff. You know what to do. It's also on the side there. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Bye.